with Balanle Olukani. She is a popular television broadcaster and filmmaker, and she joins us now from Lagos. And thanks so much for joining us on what we can see has been a tumultuous couple of days in Nigeria. You know, what were you hoping from this election? And what do you think Nigerians ended up with here? We saw a glimpse, really, there of the chaos, of the confusion, and the fact that things are still so tense.
Yeah, so I think when it comes to what were we hoping, INEC, the body that is conducting the elections, passed an electoral act in 2022. And pretty much the electoral act said that the results were going to be transmitted on their platform. So it was going to be an electronic transmission. Once the votes were done being correlated and counted at the polling units, right after then, they had a device that would allow them to capture the results from the polling unit, and it was going to be transmitted and uploaded directly onto a platform that every single Nigerian would have the opportunity to be able to see the results. That did not happen. You saw situations where INEC officials, the people who were conducting the elections at the polling units, refused to upload the results. You saw situations where they said that they didn't have the ability to, that the device was slow. And even more so, the actual portal that has the results, up to now, up to 50% of the polling units' results have not been uploaded. So the question I think all of us are asking is, at the coalition center that's happening right now in the counting in Abuja, what are you guys counting? Like, what results are you showing us? Number two, a lot of the results that are being uploaded onto the database do not compare with the results that people took pictures of on their phone. I think what people have to understand is that Nigerians didn't just vote and leave. They stayed at their polling units till 1, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. and counted those results with the INEC officials. And so we all have proof of what actually happened at our polling units, and we have pictures of it, and we're seeing that it's not the same thing that they're telling us at the polling center, correlation center in Abuja. It feels like it's just basically they're lying to us right to our faces, and there seems to be no responsibility for that. This election is not just important, it is make or break for Nigeria.
I can hear the emotion, obviously, and as you point out, this was supposed to be technology that was supposed to make things more transparent, not less so. I take your point. People are posting these results and the discrepancies all over social media. I've seen them for myself. Now, to give an example, where you are, you voiced particular concern about Lagos. Why? What did you see there that told you we're being lied to?
Lagos State is, when you think about Lagos, Lagos is a metropolitan city. We all know the role and the power that social media has, especially in Lagos. A lot of people in Lagos are tired of the ruling party. A lot of people in Lagos also came out to vote. The numbers that they're telling us of people that came out to vote, it doesn't correlate with what really happened. A lot of people were disenfranchised. They were not able to vote because there were thugs that were sponsored to come and disrupt the polling units. We saw videos of people, thugs, coming to polling units, and the police officers did absolutely nothing. They did nothing. So to us, we're kind of asking ourselves, like, why are we not being allowed to vote? What is the reason? What are people so afraid of that's going to come out if Nigerians choose to say, okay, this is who I want to cast my vote for? At the end of the day, Nigeria is at the breaking point. And I think for every single Nigerian, especially young people, the voting population of the people that were registered, it's about 39% are youth. And those people came out to vote. They came out to vote. The numbers are not correlating with what they've said. Not only that, this afternoon, we actually had PDP, which is one of the opposition parties, and they didn't even win Lagos. They specifically said that the numbers that INEC presented does not correlate with with the amount of people that came. They have different numbers. Because what you guys need to understand is that at the end of the day, all the parties, they made sure that they were doing their own counts. Because we all knew that INEC was going to do something like this.
It's interesting, though, because they're observers and they serve a purpose, and people are seeing these discrepancies. And we have heard specifically from Nigeria's youth, with all the passion and all the frustration that you're expressing to us now. And what happens now, I have to ask you? This election has clearly fallen short so far, and yet you know that the Nigeria's Electoral Commission has already said no way, we're not doing a redo here. As far as we're concerned, they've rejected the claims from the opposition parties saying, look, these elections have been fair. They've been fine. We will continue to tally the votes.
Well, it looks like what's going to happen is they're probably going to continue counting, and it looks like it's going to have to go to court, which is really unfortunate because technically what's supposed to happen in specific situations, and this is what their electoral law states, in situations where there's a cancellation, if the amount of votes that were canceled there could possibly affect the final results, there's supposed to be a rerun. A lot of the polling units, the amount of votes that were canceled is going to affect the final results. So what is really interesting is to see how we're supposed to be in a democracy. They're the ones that passed they're the ones that drafted the Electoral Act, but yet they seem to not be adhering to it. Just for the fact that the results have not been transmitted, and up till now they're still choosing not to, that alone in itself questionable, and it shows that INEC is not only they've been compromised, they're also not being transparent, and they have not conducted a free and fair election. And if that's not happened, then technically we're supposed to have another election.
I know you're going to give me blowback on this, but some people would say, look, Nigeria is in its adolescence in terms of a democracy. This is a very large country. Obviously, when you look at the number of registered voters, this is a large task. They are still counting. The results are in no way, shape, or form official right now. Well, what do you say to that? To say, like, look, patience, just give us some time here.
I think the issue is it's not really about patience. It's the fact that INEC has chosen not to communicate and address the issues. We have pictures that show that you have a piece of paper where results were recorded, and then after the results were recorded, someone took a pen and canceled those results out and put a new result, and you want us to accept it? That's the issue, is that, can you, INEC, explain that? So we're finding that the chairman is not communicating with us. I think a lot of times when you think about the institutions of Nigeria, they're so used to just carrying on and doing whatever they want without accountability. But Nigerians have finally woken up to the point where we're saying, no, you must be accountable to us. We're a democracy. If you ask us to come out and vote, we cast our vote. We expect the results to reflect who we voted for, not who you've been paid to say is going to win. So there has to be accountability. If not, the INEC chairman needs to go ahead and step down and resign. If he's unable to do his duties based on what he's supposed to, it's the Independent Electoral Commission. It doesn't feel like they're being independent right now.
And we see you and other people in Nigeria, the youth in particular, demanding their franchise from the Electoral Commission. A lot of this is born of the unexpected results of Peter Obi, who I believe you support. He is the next generation, as it were, and yet it seems like a 70-year-old from the ruling party right now is in the lead. What do you think it will mean here if indeed there isn't that generational shift? And what is Nigeria's youth looking for in terms of this perhaps being more of a movement that will continue, not just for this election?
The movement has already started. You have to, when you think about where this came from NSARS, and this came from us finally demanding that we're treated as citizens of our country. And Nigerian youth are finally involved in politics. So it's not going to be going down. We're not going back, no matter what happens. In terms of, the potential of having Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president, I think a lot of Nigerian youth are worried about his health. We're worried about his ability to be able to rule Nigeria. We've been ruled by so many people who are much older, and they don't seem to be willing to accept or understand what it is that we need. But even more important, what we're looking for is a competent leader. Nigeria is at its breaking point. The amount of people that have exodus and left this country because it feels like it's unlivable. Everyone has said it. We don't have good roads. We don't have good light. We don't have healthcare. We don't have education. Last year, the average Nigerian youth spent 8 months at home because our schools were on strike, and it didn't seem like our government had any interest. So when we're saying we need a mindset of someone that's young, someone that's agile, someone that is going to listen to the Nigerian people, that is what we need. We need people who are accountable. And a lot of times when you look at the past leaders or the people that are running, they don't seem accountable, which is why a lot of Nigerian youth we have chosen, and we're saying, you know what? this Peter Obi looks like someone that's listening to us, and we want to make sure that we are heard. The point is for us, whatever was voted on Saturday, we want those results. We don't want the results that they're doctoring. That is the most important thing. If we know that these results are free and fair, whoever wins, wins. But right now, what they're giving us is not what we voted on Saturday.
Okay, and we will leave it there for now, but certainly we hear your passion, and you've given us great insight into what's going on now as we see the fallout from this election. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kate. Thank you so much guys. Thank you for clicking the video.
So guys, I will continue to talk about what is going on in Nigeria concerning the election that took place on the 25th of February 2023. Even though they have declared APC the winner, and also according to Punch newspaper, Bola Tinubu will be moving to the different guest house in Maitama district of Abuja. He will function at the different guest house until he is sworn in as president on May 29, 2023. So my people, we still have hope, even though we don't know how long it's going to take. Labour Party will not give up until we take our country back. Labour Party will not give up until we get our right back. Labour Party will not give up until we claim what belongs to us back. So my people, Atiku and Obi have agreed to work together to reclaim what belongs to Peter Obi. Atiku know that Peter Obi won this election. Because of election was not free and fair. This is what they have been doing for so many years in our country, Nigeria. They don't want to listen to the youth, and they don't want to do things right. They just want to do anyhow, and they want to get away with it. But this time around, they will not get away with it. Enough is enough, says Labour Party. Enough is enough. So my people, so guys, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, and his Labour Party counterpart, Peter Obi, have refused to concede defeat in the February 25th presidential election, vowing to recover their mandate in court. They will not allow Nigerian children to cry in vain. They will not allow the youth die in vain. They will not allow people suffering, dying, no security. Nothing works in that country. They will not allow all the bad people to take over and destroy our country. And that is why Labour Party say enough is enough. So my people, I have to end this video right here. Thank you so much guys for watching the video to the end, and please don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. And take care of yourself and remain blessed, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye bye.
My dear people, let me again correct one impression, because I've seen some people saying in the media that I released one news or the other. I have never, directly or indirectly, spoken or released any message since after voting on the 25th. My last comment in media was immediately after voting on the 25th, and I've never done so until now. So whatever you see in the media, please disregard. It's not coming from me, directly or indirectly. This is my first time of speaking, coming out to the media, and I thank all of you for your understanding. For me, it's a very simple thing is to speak to Nigerians who on the 25th of February trooped out en masse as committed citizens to participate in what all of us know as what are called existential election for supposedly free, fair, credible, presidential, and National Assembly election. We enjoy, and in all things we give thanks to God. For me, number one thing is gratitude. Gratitude to God Almighty that continue to protect and bless our dear country, Nigeria. Number two is gratitude to Nigerians that participated in the election, answering the call as true citizens in our dear country. Number three is gratitude to those of Nigerians, especially the youth, that believed and worked tirelessly for a new Nigeria, and trusting that new Nigeria on that thing and my good self. I thank them for their hard work. Gratitude to the obedient youths, those who believe that a new Nigeria is possible. And I say to them that a new Nigeria is possible, and we'll work for that new Nigeria that is possible. Their resilience, their hard work for a new Nigeria should not be waned. Daddy and I remain committed to that new Nigeria. I know how they'll be feeling now because of the way the elections have come and gone. The commitment and resilience of Nigerians, even in face of unwarranted radical attacks, is a testimony that a new Nigeria is indeed possible. I look at people like Lady Jennifer Ifedi, who was stabbed but insisted on voting. And that gives me courage to believe that a new Nigeria is indeed possible. And there's so many other Nigerians. The election that we just witnessed have been conducted and results announced as programmed. It is a clear version from electoral rules and guidelines as we were promised. This election did not meet the minimum standard expected of a free, transparent, credible, fair election. It will go down as one of the most controversial elections ever conducted in Nigeria. The good and hard-working people of Nigeria have again been robbed by our supposed leaders whom they trusted. However, let me humbly and most respectfully appeal to all Nigerians to remain peaceful, law-abiding, and conduct themselves in most responsible manner. Please be assured that Dati and I, and indeed all of us, this is not the end, but the beginning of the journey for a birth of new Nigeria. Dati Baba Ahmed and I remain absolutely undaunted and deeply committed to the project of a new Nigeria that will be built on honesty, transparency, fairness, justice, equity. All the above starts with the process. The process through which people come into office is far more fundamental, more important than what they do thereafter. It's my belief, and I've maintained so consistently, that if you must answer His Excellency, the process through which you arrive to office must be excellent. We must now require that we do the right things in order to generate the required confidence and moral authority to lead. As you know, the destruction of a society begins and gradually progress when we act rascally or with deliberate manipulation of the rule of law and suppression of the will of the people. During my campaign process, I would say that we will govern by the rule of law, because we know what not doing that will bring about. And that's why we insisted that. Let me reiterate, and I assure you that good people of Nigeria, that will explore all legal and peaceful action to reclaim our mandate. We won the election, and we will prove it to Nigerians. Oh, yeah. Please do not despair. We have elections coming up on the 11th. I enjoin you to go out, campaign, and bring out people to again come out and vote in that election. We still have so many massive support out there that we need for our subnational and state assemblies. Please come out and be part of that election. I assure you that I will be part of it. I assure you that I'm totally committed for a better future in this country. And nothing will stop that. That is commitment. My commitment is total. Be rest assured that your support will not be in vain. We are not
I want to address you.
Therefore, recognize the city. They wanted me to even rule. I pleaded with them that please, they should allow me. They refused. In fact, they said I should write. Some of them were even ready to beat if I don't comply with them. So they said I should write that results were not received. So the report went missing. I had to write this just to save my life. 2 of us. Then, after writing things, I didn't see here that this one is even the fact they wanted to get their copy. So when they removed it, later on I pleaded with them. I appealed to them so they released this one. Then I now stored their own copies for them. Since morning, since we came here, the people are here. The president, they are here. They've been coming so that I collate us. How do I collate you again? My collation has been abruptly brought to an end. So what?
Electoral Commission INEC to collect results in polling units where elections did not hold. The electoral officers say elections did not hold in some wards in Oru West and Ohaji, Egbema local government areas of the state, but results are coming from those areas. According to them, electoral materials did not arrive in these areas and were dispersed without voting. Therefore, the electoral officers wondered where the electoral body got the result it announced in these areas. Meanwhile, the lawmaker representing Ohaji, Egbema, Oguta and Oru West Federal Constituency, Honorable Kingsley Uju, is demanding the cancellation of the election in his constituency, saying the process was full of irregularities. The lawmaker also cried out to the Inspector General of Police, alleging a threat to his life and family members by the state government.
In my own polling unit, which is Budi 2B, where we had election in some polling units, but 2 polling units, 025 and 030, election was not held. And we demanded from ECG 40G. We weren't giving it to us from the EO, who is Mrs. Mweke. On getting here yesterday, we were given this form. Since morning, we've been running around to submit this that election did not hold, and nobody wants to collect it from us.
I worked at Oru West, Ngbidi, Oru West, Ibiasebe. The EO refused attending to us. No vehicle to take me to where I'm supposed to work. I called her attention several times, but no avail. So I'm here to return the form EC4G so that I will exempt myself in case there is any result from that polling unit. I have 12 polling units. No election was conducted in any of them.
I worked as an SPO at Ugutu, in Oru West local government. But unfortunately, the election did not hold. And I want to do the needful to exempt myself from all blames by submitting this form EC4.
According to Tambo Mbeki, INEC destroyed the trust of Nigerian people in the process. In a democracy, the process is more important than the result. And the process of conducting an election is very clear. I participated in this election. You go to the polling booth, you are accredited by the beavers, you go vote. At the conclusion of the matter, the vote is counted, the vote is announced publicly, the vote is transferred through electronic transfer to the server. Two levels of authentication through transfer. The first is uploading to the IREF portal, which is snapping the hard copy of the manual result and uploading it, which INEC was doing even before the authorization of electronic transmission. INEC yearned and told Nigerian people, and Nigerian people fought to grant them electronic transmission of results. The only reason for the amendment of 2022 Electoral Act is electronic transmission of results, to remove the mischief of the manual collation centers, where Nigerians have unanimously agreed is the albatross for free and fair election. In Mahmoud's INEC, in 2023 presidential election, Mahmoud bypassed the process of transferring electronically the result of the presidential election intentionally and willfully in order to manipulate the election to pronounce Bola Tinubu the president-elect. Why did I use the word willfully and intentionally? Anybody telling you there was a glitch in Beavers is the first liar of this election. There were 3 elections conducted on the same day. No Beavers. I repeat, no Beavers malfunctioned. We were accredited by Beavers. He did not malfunction. We were counted, announced. They transmitted the result of the senatorial election. Beavers was beautiful. They did it with the House of Representatives. Beavers was on top of the game. Then in the presidential election, they are telling their own fools, not us, that Beavers suddenly started malfunctioning. No, it did not malfunction. There was a deliberate attempt to make sure that the presidential election is not transmitted, so that they will resort illegally and criminally by the law. Section 60, subsection 4 of the Electoral Act made it clear. Count and announce the result in the polling unit. Transmit and transfer in the polling unit. Subsection 5. So the polling unit independence in the conduct of our election is sacrosanct. And anything beyond that is not only illegal, but criminal. Subsection 6 very clear.